My name is Serge Kamari. I live in Kigali, Rwanda. My wife Jennifer is from Canada. We have 3 children. We live in Kigali. We have Prince is 25. He's already moved out of our home, and Isabella is 16. She's in grade 11, and Benny is 14. Is turning 14 in grade 8. I'm a new member on Wellspring board, but I'm not new to Wellspring. My connection to Wellspring goes back when Wellspring actually started at the Wellspring Academy. I remember my wife and I, we were very excited to see a new Christian school that really value education. And so Prince was among the very first kids who started at Wellspring. So we love it. It's a wonderful school. Parents are involved. The leadership is determined to improve the quality of education. The board is very invested in it. So with all that, we find it's been really a part of our life. And of course, I knew the founders too, so I always stayed connected. And when they moved on, even starting impacting other schools through training teachers, so I knew all about what Wellspring was doing. And finally, when I was asked to join the board, it was an easy decision for me to make. So I read somewhere in the book titled "The Hole in Our Gospel." I remember a quote that really stuck with me that says the difference between a child born in Africa and a child born it was referring to the US, but I would say in North America because that's where Canada is. It says that the difference is access to opportunity. So many children born in Africa do not have access to the opportunities that people here in North America have. And some of those are just the basic needs, access to education, access to healthcare, access to shelter, food. And also coming from Rwanda. Rwanda is a small country. We don't have a lot of natural resources. So we believe that, by investing in education, that's one way of really, bringing, increasing the quality of life, but also it is a key to breaking the cycle of poverty, for many people. So I am a strong believer in education, and I am passionate to seeing that, especially the most vulnerable, that will have access. And when we talk about, quality of education, in many cases, for people in North America, this is it's like the norm, but it is not the norm back home. So I do what I can, and that's why I'm even passionate serving, on Wellspring Foundation for Education Board. And and it goes back even to my own story. I happen to have a father who once upon a time, he was a teacher and then moved on to become a general manager of a company. But he knew the value of education because he was himself, he was born and raised in the village, but he was the only child to leave his village to go to a school and have the opportunity to have a good education. And then later on, he moved in the city. So I was born in the city, but my father knew that without education, we will have a hard life. And so he always told us to really take education very seriously. He pushed us so hard, and he used to say, when I die, I will die with my degree. And of course, as kids, we didn't think about what that meant. And eventually he died before I could even finish high school. And it was tough. It was really tough. And I kept thinking about, all what he said. And I also remember that before passing away, he had written me a letter,
And in his letter, he said, my son, remember to go back to school. Of course, it wasn't, it's not like I didn't want to go to school, but we were living in a really difficult time, the genocide, the war, and the entire region, Great Lakes region, it was impacted. And so it was hard. So for many years, I didn't go to school. And eventually those words kept coming, in my head, and I did what I could to eventually went to school, finish high school, went to university. But with that, I knew, and it's also a time where, after the genocide, there's so many orphans, there's so many, people who are left, with nothing. So I knew that, anytime I'll have an opportunity to help someone or to be part of something, to help, young people to have access to education, that I will make that my priority. So yeah, that's why I like doing that. Well, I believe as Christians, we are the hands and feet of Jesus. And with that, we have the responsibility to share the love of God, but in practical ways, And so what Wellspring is doing is sharing that love in practical ways, driving down deep into poor villages, going to train teachers, train parents, work with local leaders. To me, that is what we should do, as Christians, because we have been given gifts, we have been given talent, and we need to put those to good use. So I'm always looking for opportunities. Where can I serve? Where can I use my gift? Where can I impact other people's lives because of what I've received? I've received freely, and then I am to give freely. So really, my faith is an integral part of what I do, and I've seen that Wellspring takes that very seriously. So yes, my faith is really informs everything that I do, and I love that I see that at the academy, and with Wellspring Foundation for Education.